What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tall and Taller. We have a special guest, the probably the worst but best friend for me, um,
Damn right.
Buckeye Arron. Everybody, give him a round of applause and thank you.
Hey,
But yeah, guys, Aaron, welcome to the show again. I know you were on with me back in when we were in Columbus for the game in 2022.
yep.
We're gonna be talking a little bit about the Super Bowl today, and giving Aaron a little bit of hazing for it.
Little
Um,
Thanks for having me, buddy.
yeah, no problem. Glad to have you. You're welcome anytime. I think
Yeah,
I mean, from now on though, you can't be wearing that.
I'm wearing it every time. Every time.
But yeah, where y'all want to start? I mean, there's a lot. We can start with Super Bowl. We can start with.
let's start with Super Bowl, then we'll go down 9 different rabbit holes and see where
Yeah.
we end up.
Right.
Sounds good to me. All right, guys. So Super Bowl, I don't even know the fucking Roman numeral number it means anymore.
58, I believe.
Yeah, I'm 58.
Sure. I'm
One
not
of them
smart.
numbers.
Super Bowl 58 is tomorrow night. Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. I think we're in for a hell of a ball game between these two teams.
I absolutely agree with you. I think the defenses are going to be the story of the game. They got to stop the run. Both sides got to stop the run.
So, in San Francisco, so explosive. It'll see, but, Kansas City, the last few years, right? They've been offense, and this year, I feel like their defense has carried them through. They're a lot better defensively, but man, is San Francisco explosive. As we've seen against my Lions, as we've seen against a bunch of other teams, they can put up. You can laugh and joke all you want, Hunter, Mr. Fan of 28 NFL teams.
Yeah, I can't pick one.
Right.
Listen, I've been a fan of the Colts and I've been a fan of the Patriots. There's two teams. That's
Colts, Bucks.
No, whoa. I never jumped on the Bucks fucking train. I jumped on
yes,
Tom
you
Brady,
did.
but I didn't jump on the fucking Bucks train. No. We ain't doing that.
Patriots. 3 different times you text me this year, and I'll pull up the receipts right now. I'm on the bandwagon with the Lions.
Oh, wow. The truth comes out.
I've said this before on the show.
He's got a team in each
I've said that the Lions fans ruined me becoming a fucking fan over that whole fucking Stafford shit.
Yeah, something that never even happened, but you
it's no. It's not even just that. It's the fact that here we go down a fucking rabbit hole already.
Oh, no, the
it's
Lions
not even just that. It's the fact that he did all this for Detroit, took him to the playoffs 2 or 3 times, and now he's a villain when he comes back to Detroit. It's not even just his wife shit. The stuff about his wife and kids, but
so one, he took him to the playoff once, okay, and 2, he asked out, and everybody, just about to a man, when he went to the Rams, cheered for him to win the Super Bowl. It wasn't personal. You're coming here for a chance to go to the conference championship game. You're a fucking enemy. I would boo you.
I agree.
If you were playing for the conference championship, I would boo you. So I just don't see what the big deal is. That's today's millennial cancel culture. Oh
Jesus Christ! Here we go.
So we're gonna create a story where there isn't one.
No, that's not the point. The point was that all that is that the Lions fans win one fucking playoff game and they think that they're owed the world.
Hey, I was there. I was there with the Bengals. Okay.
So was I. I was there with you. Remember?
Yeah,
we were in the field.
And forgive the Lions fans for getting excited for being to the conference final for the first time fucking ever since 1957. Sorry, they were a little bit excited. I mean, forgive them.
Same old Lions.
The defense for the Niners, they need to get pressure up front. Bosa and Chase Young need to wreak havoc and get to Patrick Mahomes.
By the way, these are delicious.
What?
It's delicious.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even second. I couldn't see it. That is freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
All right.
That's funny as.
Like I said, hey, you guys got 3 years of bragging rights. I'll take it off the chin.
Nah, it's
That's
fine.
right. And here we go on down another one. We talked about it when you were here for the game, right? But in my lifetime,
This is where we
a
should have
big
started.
chunk of
We
my
shouldn't even
life,
started with the Super
this
Bowl.
is how the rivalry went. In your lifetime, all you really know is winning, right? A couple losses.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
And I think you'll agree on this, is that the rivalry's better when it's competitive every year. And,
Absolutely.
you know, everybody wants to win every year, but it's a lot better when you go into the game and it's not a foregone conclusion, right? And,
Right.
you know, maybe a team wins 2 or 3 out of 4, but, you know, it's really best for in college football too, I think, if you know it's almost like an every other year thing. And of course teams are going to have their runs, and after this 20-year run we get on, you know, hopefully it balances back out.
Yeah, I don't know about the 20-year run because Ryan Day's got one choice, and that's to beat you guys.
That's all he cares about. Because
He absolutely. You guys know how I feel about Ryan Day.
right,
I will say I respect what he's done this offseason with bringing in who he thinks needs to be brought in.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Chip Kelly quite yet, but
I don't know about that either.
I really truly don't know what to make of it. I know that I'm glad the quarterback's going to be running a little bit more, and hopefully our run game gets a little bit better under him.
He's
But
got to be an upgrade against O'Brien, right? O'Brien couldn't even score a touchdown this whole time there.
That's what I think. And like, he didn't win a Super Bowl with,
He didn't get it.
and he never won a national championship with Alabama when he was there. And
Right.
there's no such thing as coincidence.
Penn State, he was really James Franklin there too. You know, he brought him back right after all the Joe Pa stuff.
Yep.
But good, not great, right?
Exactly. Yep. Can't beat Ohio State, can't beat Michigan, and they're definitely not going to be able to beat Oregon either.
Right.
I don't think. I don't know.
Nah,
I
Go ahead.
I just really don't know what to think about Chip Kelly quite yet. I need to do a little bit more and think about it a little bit. And I guess time will only tell what Ohio State
he was really good at Oregon, right?
Right.
And then he was great at the Eagles for 2 or 3 years, and then he kind of shit the bed.
Exactly.
And you know, but I think that was he still had the college coach mindset, coaching pros, and it just doesn't work that way. Especially that's really evolved the last few years. And you just can't scream at 35-year-old guys, you know, you suck, you fucking bitch, this and this and that. Right. Where 18-year-old kids got to eat it a little bit. So I think he's an offensive genius, but the question is his best years behind him? You know, has the defenses caught up with his scheme? And it just remains to be seen.
Yep. Time will tell. We'll find out.
I mean, last time Ryan Day and Chip Kelly were together was in 2015, 2016. So the Niners have been good for 12 years now, except for 2 seasons. One of those seasons being Chip Kelly's 1 year with the Niners. His quarterback coach was Ryan Day.
Right.
They went 2-14. I like our chances next season.
I don't know. He's got to beat you guys.
So there's a lot of questions on both sides, right? So Michigan has replaced practically everybody from a coaching thing. I mean, head coach, OC, DC, special teams, linebackers, right? I mean, and you know, like Hunter and I were talking last week. You don't got to hit a home run on every try, but when you're replacing a coaching staff that had the success that we had, if you really whiff and strike out on one of them, it's gonna hurt, right? And maybe it hurts a little bit, maybe it hurts a lot, but the reality is the law of averages is he's not going to hit a home run on everyone. And you know, before this officially happened, Hunter and I talked, and I told him my biggest concern about Sharon is, did he have enough time in the big boy football ranks to build relationships to get guys over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of proven to be true. And I just can't believe, like I said, that he's going to hit a home run on every area. And now here we are that Clinksdale just left. There's very few people besides Sharon to have a bond with the players, right?
Yeah.
And I just think we might be looking at an Alabama situation here in the next week or so, where a lot of people we haven't lost anybody of substance, but it might be coming, and then that just makes the picture even more cloudy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But we got the NCAA needs to figure out something with.
NCAA needs to go bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree.
And I
Honestly.
think it's this is the beginning of the end for it. I do.
With
I
especially
really
with the SEC and the whole Big Ten thing coming in, where they're kind of
Yeah.
combining forces. I think that's kind of where you're going to see the NCAA go. Like the CFP is going to be the main dogs now. I think that again, you're going to see more teams probably join the SEC and the Big Ten. I think
Yeah.
we're going to, like, as we talked about before in the show, and I think me and Aaron have talked about it plenty of times. You're going to see those super conferences where there's 30 people in the Big Ten and the SEC, and they're playing for a 16 spot playoff later
So,
on down the road.
and I think that's where this ultimately goes. Maybe not next year, but 3, 4, 5 years is there's going to be one major conference, right? And in the Big Ten and the SEC, they're probably going to keep everybody. I mean, hopefully, maybe they boot out Rutgers and a couple of the bottom tiers, but I think it's going to be 30, 35, 40 teams, and they're going to go around and say, Notre Dame, you want in? If not, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But we're not asking again. And right on down the line, they're going to be able to cherry pick the best of the best. And
Exactly.
I think that will help negate a lot of things that have been wrong with college football the last few years. Because nobody's, I'm sure you'll still have a couple game non-conference, and they're going to be warm-up games, right? But people aren't going to be able to bitch about strength of schedule, because it's going to be the best of the best. All conference, so
Yeah,
it's exciting to see what's happening. Changes definitely
I'm
need to be made.
for this playoff. This season is going to be so much fun. Absolutely a blast to watch. And the people who are bitching about it, shut up. Quit bitching, quit crying. This is going to be fun. This is going to be awesome to watch as fans. We're lucky to get to watch this,
Absolutely.
No, for sure. And I mean, fuck, I just lost what I was going to say. Never mind. Never mind.
Jeez.
Well, I'm also looking for something else right now, so I'm kind of doing two things.
You just sit there and push buttons. Let the experts do the talking.
Yeah.
You're funny. I'm looking for another joke to pull on Aaron. Okay, how's that sound?
Okay.
Don't cry. It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Okay, this is not cool. This this is our show. It's not y'all's show.
Go
We ain't
Bucks.
doing this.
So Aaron, what do you think about like all the new recruits, the guys from Bama, all the high profile guys that you guys have spent $50 million on? What's your take on it?
I think I'm glad they brought them in. Caleb Downs, I mean, he's a phenomenal player.
Yep.
Judkins, he's the leading SEC running back. I like what they did, but it all is going to matter once we get on that field and they start playing the game and I can see what they're doing. Because I don't know. He's got to win. He's got to beat you guys. They have to beat Michigan. They have to make a run in the playoff. They really have to probably win the national championship with all this happening.
So he loses. He's absolute to us, right? He's absolutely gone, right?
I sure hope so. I don't know if they'll do it though. And the only reason why
people were crying for it after 2 losses. I felt like it was worse in 2022 than it was this last year.
I agree with that.
For sure, and that probably has a little something to do with you throw all the trolling and hate out. Is that I think everybody knew that Michigan was a legit contender this year, and they obviously proved it, right? So I think that kind of calm down your fan base, because it was just like, hey, these guys are clearly the better team.
Yeah,
You know,
and everybody was talking about how they only lost by 6 on the road to the national champions, and I agree with all that. But at the end of the day, you better win, you know.
right.
But I like what they're doing. I don't know. We'll see. That's
So,
Dude,
so let me ask you this: Michigan beats you guys, right? But you win the Natty. Does that make it better or no?
I figured this question was coming, and to me, you got to beat Michigan, or you have to beat Michigan. But if he wins the national championship and loses to you guys, he's there for a long period of time, probably. He probably gets signed for a couple more years if he wins the national championship. Even if he loses,
Honestly, it would still burn my ass if you guys beat us. But if you beat us and we won the Natty, that takes the sting out a little bit, right?
it does
Now,
a little bit.
It's a little bit different that he would. That would be his 4th loss in a row. So I could see, but I can't believe in any world you fire a coach that just won the national championship either.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether that was 10 in a row or 5 or 4, you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
that's a tough deal, but you know that's one of the similarities between Michigan and Ohio State is that's the expectation, and you know before we really picked up the last year, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it's been, is that I would have been perfectly fine if we went 3-9 as long as we beat Ohio State. That takes the sting out of those other 8 losses, you know. So people that don't have a great rivalry, and there's only 2 or 3 that I think belong in the same conversation as ours, just don't understand it. They just don't fully grasp it.
nobody down here fucking understands it.
No,
Right.
they think Auburn and
Dying.
Alabama. And
Yeah, and that rivalry is a joke compared to.
I don't
anything
even
else.
think that's a top 5 rivalry myself.
No, I don't either. I mean, you name, and I mean, are you doing? I mean, all of sports. I mean, you have Michigan, Ohio State, Yankees, Red Sox.
Packers.
I mean, yeah, yep. I mean, those are the ones that really come to mind, especially Michigan, Ohio State, Yankees, Red Sox. Those two are bloodbaths every time they play.
Pure hate. Pure hate.
Yeah,
and respect at the same time. Yeah, real hate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking, I mean, if I this year I wholeheartedly expect to walk into Columbus for that game, and my experience be absolutely way different than it was in 2022. I think it's going to go back to, hey, I'm going to be fighting my way out of the stadium if we win, almost.
Right.
To a point, you know what I'm saying? Not actually, maybe it's going to go back to what, hey, it's not going to just be, hey, fuck you, jokey, haha. It's going to be,
it'll
really,
be a lot
man,
more
fuck
personal
you.
after that.
Yeah.
So Landon Schwartz, is that a friend of yours, Aaron? I'm assuming he's a Buckeye. So do you see his statement here? So I do think Notre Dame needs to go bye-bye or join a conference. I think that happens within 5 years or less, and I will bet you, Landon, a kick in the nuts that does not have to vacate. I'm sure that was just a troll thing, but if you want to bet, consider this my word and give me yours, and we can meet up.
So the real question there, though, that he asked was how many Big Ten schools make the playoff this first year of the 12-team playoff?
I think 3 to 4.
I can agree.
I think if Michigan doesn't fall off, I think
Michigan doesn't fall off, it's 4, and if they do, it's 3. Because we talked about this last week. Realistically, I think Michigan could lose 4 or 5 games this year with all the changes and a lot tougher schedule, and that'd be heartbreaking to see, especially after this. But there's just not only did they lose 20-something players, they're going to get 16, 17 drafted, but to almost completely turn over your coaching staff, that's a lot for any program. I mean, and for people that say that it's not, go take a look at Alabama. Now they got DeBoer's guys leaving for the Seahawks, and gee, what a clusterfuck.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what I was thinking when I seen Ryan Grubb was going to the Seahawks. I was all confused. I didn't know what was going on.
And I get it from their perspective. They don't have to uproot their families. The NFL, I don't know that the NFL is a step up from Bama, but maybe it is. But it also goes to the state of college football, right? It is that, with the NIL and the portal and stuff. And I think it's crazy to think that Chip Kelly is leaving a head coaching job to come coordinate,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That is insane to me.
Yeah.
But I think that just goes to show the status of the college football world. And he's like, I just want to coach. I don't want to deal with all this other fucking shit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They need to put something. They need to put guardrails up something with this NIL stuff before it gets too out of hand where they can't reel it back in.
Yeah, that's something that me and you have talked about on here. I think every other week. I think we talk about the NCAA needs to do something, or else no way a school should be no way a school should be able to do what Ohio State just did. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. We're giving out $20 million to kids just to come play.
It's legal.
I think there needs.
That's the issue. Is it's legal that they can just for any team,
Right.
It's college. This isn't the semi-pros. We still need to treat it as college football.
Yeah, they're still getting paid to go to school.
Yeah, they are paid to go.
They're like that's when the NIL was created, it was never created so they would be out here making millions of dollars like they're playing in the NFL. Like going back, Marvin Harrison Jr. when he was going when he hadn't announced that he was going to the NFL. What was the offer that was rumored that Ohio State regents were given or alumni were giving up $25 million or something like that to match a first round, top 5 draft pick contract.
Right.
That's
and that if that was true, I mean, I think if that was me or my kid, I'd say shit, fuck it, stay. You know what I mean?
Right.
$25 million is going to guarantee you get the college experience. He would have got another shot to win the Heisman.
Exactly. Beat Michigan.
Maybe beat Michigan.
He wanted to do win the Big Ten championship like he said he wanted to do. Win the
maybe, but probably not beat Michigan. He had a chance. And I was joking about that, but seriously, and we had like three classes, 4-year tenures, I think, but that really stings when you go through your whole college career and don't beat your biggest rival. And I'm really kind of surprised that wasn't some motivation for him. And maybe it was, and he, dad, all pro guy, Hall of Fame guy, right? And maybe his dad, his dad got in his ear and said, fuck that, go get your money. And it's hard to say without being connected, but can't fault the guy. And I'm glad to see him go. He put up crazy stats against us, but he never killed us like I feared he would,
Right, 100%.
And good be gone.
He kind of looked different this year, or this past year compared to the year before, I even think. But
did we all just stop and read that at
the good point.
Killing and Super Bowl.
And I don't disagree with you, Land. I think that I think there should be a threshold. If you make more than $100,000 a year or something, absolutely give up your scholarship. Even if they don't give it to a walk-on in that sport, it can be used to support these other teams and raise their scholarship funds, because as Hunter said, there's no reason for these guys to be making 6 and 7 figures a year. And I don't hate them for it. They're just taking what opportunities are given to them. But it's just the whole college football model. Yeah, you're absolutely right. NIL is killing it, but I do think the NCAA is dying a slow death right now, and it depends how long it takes. But I think most people would agree that the players deserve to be paid, but they just kind of threw it out there with little to no thought, and now we're seeing what it's done to the sport really quick. In the transfer portal too, I've always said that I think players should be able to go at least once with no questions asked, but now it's turned into, I don't like the music that coach played during warm-ups today, so I'm out of here, you know. And that's just make it. I think it's a reflection on society, but especially, you know, the team sports. It's just making people soft. You know, some of my toughest memories of playing sports are things that I learned the most from, you know, and it's just too easy to pick up your toys and go home now.
Yep, exactly.
I think there needs to be, like, I read this from somebody. I don't remember who it was on Twitter. It was someone, like some reporter, but had wrote an article, and there needs to be some type of salary cap.
Yep.
Like, hey, you get, I don't know, each player gets, if you're a starter, you get this much, up to this much. That's say you make your starter, you can make $1 million. If you're a backup or someone on the bench, you're set as a backup, then hey, you can make up to like $500,000 or something like that, where it's just not out and about. Like, one school shouldn't be able to outbid another school for a player, aka like, oh, I'm not saying it's bad, like Ohio State. Shit.
You fucking faggot.
Shit.
So the thing is about this is, and there's probably somebody out there smarter than me that could figure this out, but you know, say your Zach Zinner, right, All-American guard, is not gonna get the money that Marvin Harrison would, right? And they're both All-Americans, they're both elite at their position, but you're just not gonna pay an offensive lineman 10, 15, $25 million a year. It's just not going to happen. And the same thing with the defensive line. So, and then if you break it down by position, there's going to be guys that are naturally linemen that want to play tight end, or, you know, that want to try to make changes just to make more money. And it, you know, it all goes back to, I think, what we all love about sports, and it's going to affect the integrity of the game even more. So there's got to be answers out there, but I just can't wrap my head around that. And also, you know, if you got a guy making $10 million a year, and you got a guy like Zach Zinner, right, that's again All-American, and he's making 100,000 because that's the top tier for linemen. You can't tell me there's not going to be any animosity in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
so it's a delicate issue, and you know, I would just, I don't know. I don't want to see us go to the pro sports model where we have a collective bargaining agreement and all that stuff, because it's just going to take what I love about college football. It's going to completely erase it, but the system's broken, right? And there's got to be something.
Yep, has to be. But like you said, somebody that's a lot smarter than us hopefully will figure it out.
That's right.
I just ordered it.
2 of them, right?
No.
That was the deal.
I'm not eating 2 of those. Aaron, so I don't know if you watched the show for that, but for pick'ems, we made a bet that whoever loses pick'ems throughout the year, at the end of the season, had to do the one chip challenge, a hot chip challenge. And I keep forgetting to order it, and he just messaged me over a little private message.
Well, and the deal was he was supposed to eat it after the national championship game, right? And he's had excuse after excuse.
No, I just
so
keep
the deal,
forgetting to order it.
He made a deal on this, so we can go back on the pot. If he didn't eat it by February 1st, he's going to eat 2. And then,
no. He made that deal. I did not.
Oh yeah.
Well, I get to set the terms of the bet since I won and you lost.
You had to set the terms of the bet back in fucking August.
You had an opportunity to not have to eat 2 by doing it by February 1st.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not eating 2 of those. I will probably die.
So let's take a vote among the 3 of us, 2 or 1.
No.
2.
No, 2. I'm not eating 2. I just ordered it. I'm not ordering another one. No.
You still got time.
Right.
No, I'm good.
Add it to your. Yeah, you can.
Nope, already paid for it. Already done.
No, that don't mean nothing.
It'll be here February 19th through February 20th.
You don't got Prime?
I do, but I wasn't shipping it here on Prime.
You couldn't go to Buc-ee's and just pick one up?
The closest Buc-ee's is like 2 hours away. We're about to have one 15 minutes down the road,
Right.
Yeah, when's it supposed to be done?
like 2025.
Oh damn.
It's supposed to be done like early, like I think spring of 25.
Huh.
It'll be here it'll be here in like 2 weeks. Happy?
Good.
There, it's ordered. You want me to prove to you it's ordered?
No, I'll take you at your word.
No, you just got to
I can-
prove to eat it.
Right.
Should have been 2, but
Should be two.
Hopefully, no, it's not gonna be 2. You didn't set that in fucking August. I have what? All right, going back. I have a question
So
for
real
Aaron.
quick,
that
just so we're on the same page, I did set that you had to eat it all at once and that you had to wait 5 minutes before you could drink anything.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at the drinking thing,
Go back.
but I do remember you saying eating the whole thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
challenge,
I'm gonna
he threw
die.
the challenge flag.
Oh, I will go back and look at that because if I can't drink it for 5 minutes, I'm gonna die. Anyways, going back about Ryan Day and all this, and everyone coming in how it is. I mean, I know there's been rumors like before that culture problem in Ohio State. That's the main reason. All this, but for me, how does and can it not how does but can it lead bringing in all these players like saying bringing in another 5-star quarterback when you just got Aaron Nolan?
But,
And
and
you
they
have
said
Will
they're down to
Howard.
compete. They said.
I mean,
They
yeah, they
said.
say that, but
They said.
when it comes down to it, and Aaron Nolan doesn't win the starting job next season, and Sayan does, or the other way around, or Will Howard doesn't start this year, and Will Howard just uses last year eligibility to come to Ohio State. I don't honestly know if it's last year. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't know what year it is.
This is the last
He uses a year of eligibility to come to Ohio State and be
Right.
that dude, and now Ohio State goes and picks up another 5-star quarterback. I know he's still young, but I mean that's going to lead to some stuff. I mean Judson or it's Judson, right? The running back from Ole Miss.
I think it's Judkins.
So there's a lot of rumors that he was a culture issue at Ole Miss,
Yeah,
Right.
like a locker room issue. And I'm not saying he's going to be at Ohio State. People can change, but my main question is that culture problem going to be true this season with all these? I mean, you add in the money, you add in bringing in having 3 5-star quarterbacks or whatever that want to play.
Well, and you got guys like Caleb Downs that are taking somebody's spot, right? And
right.
To me, that's the biggest concern is you guys have tremendously upgraded your talent, and you're already an upper tier of talent, right? Is that I think your biggest potential downfall, is going to be can these guys become a team? And I think that's harder in the NIL era.
I agree. So the thing with the culture problem, so I don't know how much of a culture problem there actually is. I think it's more of he doesn't let the strength and conditioning coaches do get aggressive and do what they need to do the right way. I think that might be the biggest issue at Ohio State right now.
Gotcha.
Because,
I mean, that was a big issue for Michigan until Herbert got there, I feel.
Right.
And they brought Schlegel in to help out a little bit, Anthony Schlegel, which I like that a lot. Because I mean that dude he's pretty jacked, and
Yeah.
he loves to get after it and high energy guy, That's what I think is the biggest issue was the strength and conditioning because these guys were getting hurt. Like,
and that's the biggest concern of mine. I said on the podcast last week is that I think Herbert, our strength and conditioning coach, is our biggest loss. I think it goes Herbert, Mentor, Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's number 3 and all that.
I seen a bunch of Michigan fans that were saying the exact same thing that you were saying is the strength and conditioning is the biggest loss. Guys.
Yeah, that's where we took our biggest leap, right? Injuries went down. Guys seemed to, before, sure they gained a lot of strength, but they seemed to lose some speed and agility. And with this, they didn't with Herbert. So, and his right hand guy took over, but the coaches the kids not only love the program, but also the coach. And if he's not the same type of personality, that could show some problems too. But
Yeah, right. Because everybody, I mean, whenever they talk to Michigan players, like especially leading up to the Rose Bowl when they had Harbaugh on and all,
yep.
talking to the players and stuff, everybody talked about how it was Harbaugh, Harbaugh, Harbaugh. Everybody loved Harbaugh, and they really didn't talk much about how the team felt with coordinators and stuff in that nature. So, like, I mean, just like we are, you guys are as well. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see when they strap the cleats up, put the helmets on, the pads on, and start hitting people.
Yeah, and I think we'll have a pretty good idea of where we're at after we play Texas.
I absolutely agree with you. My
Texas
girlfriend's a Texas fan. We're trying to go. I think.
Yeah, Texas should be a playoff team next year, right? To me, they're probably preseason. They're preseason top 3 to me.
I agree with that.
And if we can come in and handle them, I think that's a really good sign. And if they blow us out, obviously it's not.
Right, it's still a sign. It's just not the sign you want.
Right.
Yeah. And that's another thing with the NIL thing is when Quinn Ayers came, it was alleged that he made 1.5 million, and then
got his money and went to Texas, right?
Down, and then back to Texas he goes, and it's like, and Ohio State was not going to keep Quinn there at all. It don't matter how much money they would get. He was always going back to Texas. But even that, they need to figure it out.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, it looked to me like he played you guys here. I'm gonna come up here and get some money.
I felt like that the day he committed to Ohio State, because all the stuff that was going on, like Bob Carpenter and all of them, they were talking to Pat McAfee on the McAfee show, and I was following along, and they were talking about how the NIL was crazy and all this, all that, and then boom, he commits to Ohio State, and then gone. I'm like, this was fishy to begin with,
Right.
Not only does he do it to us, but he also takes money out of a guard or a tackle or
absolutely.
Out of their
you guys could have got somebody with that bag that wanted to be there,
Yeah, that actually cared about the tradition and the fact that they were an Ohio State football player,
I agree. Sorry.
Great Super Bowl talk, by the way.
Yeah,
I switched it. Yeah, I mean, you can see that I switched over
I know
the banner. Real quick, Michigan related. Michigan is expected to hire. This just came out. Michigan is expected to hire Chicago Bears chief of staff Sean McGee as a senior associate AD. He was previously the senior associate AD under Harbaugh for 5 years before he left for the Bears. And he's also going to be a general manager for the football team. So something that Sherrone Moore wanted to help with getting the NIL program up and running, hopefully he comes in as an associate AD and can kind of tell Ward try to talk Ward into
it
stuff.
may not be, but that may be a sign that they're getting ready to get rid of Ward too. But getting a guy in place and kind of letting him get his feet hit the ground. So
because Ward, as we all know, he was just announced for this week that he's now the president of the CFP committee.
Chair. I don't think that guarantees him a year of safety. Now a lot of fans do, but I don't think that would stop Michigan from firing him if that's what they're planning on doing. I just don't. And maybe it does, and maybe that's why he actively tried to get that chair position to kind of save his ass and protect himself. But I think, and we've talked about this stuff over and over and over, but this Juwan Howard thing, as much as I love the Fab Five and have respect for what he did, I just don't think that it could be any more of a shit show. And sure, he chewed the team's ass and called them out publicly, and they come out and beat number 11 Wisconsin. But to me, it's too little, too late.
Well, yeah, I mean, Aaron can somewhat agree with this. I mean, Chris Holtman's kind of done the same thing at Ohio State. Kind of came in, gave him some hope,
He's so good until
bringing him back
January.
up. Yeah, and then he drops off. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just something that we've seen. I've said it really since last season is that Juwan Howard to us in the basketball program is the Brady Hoke, in my opinion, of the football program. He came
Yep.
in, did a really freaking good. Brady Hoke his first year won the Sugar Bowl. Awesome, win 11-2. Every year after that, it trended down, and just trending down is not where that needs to be. And I mean, now that Michigan's back to where Michigan needs to be and all this, I mean, the basketball thing's not going to strike me as much as I think it would have before the 2021 season, where I was super more in depth about stuff. I mean, I still follow it tightly, but I think that Juwan Howard, there's no if he somehow stays in the next season, I just won't. I just don't understand.
No, not at all. There is, to me, there's absolutely no reason for him to still be the coach as soon as this season's ended, and I would be borderline shocked if they allow him to continue. And I think he's not a dumb guy, right? I think he knows the writing's on the wall. You can't go from what we were to what we are in 2 seasons and expect to keep your job in any industry, but especially college athletics.
Can I ask you guys
Yeah.
a question?
What's up?
Why do you guys not like Ward Manuel?
I mean, for me, it's you want to go first. Or you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
I
mean,
my dad.
you,
NO. OHNO. Lost 3 times in a row. Your son was crying on my couch.
No, he remember he stormed out pretty quick. He really wasn't on the
I was great outside. I was like, I can't deal with this. This sucks.
No, so for me, it's just the fact he can't retain any coaches. I mean, going back to, I mean, you can talk about the Mel Pearson stuff with the hockey program, but it's more the Eric Bakich of the baseball program. Oh, leads us to the national championship series and the College World Series, and then is instantly back to his alma mater, which cool, and his alma mater. Probably got paid, but dude, pay him money. And then the same thing with John Beeline and Jim Harbaugh is why are we not paying the big money?
So my problem is like Bakich is the least of my concerns because baseball coach, right? We're Big Ten, we're not baseball school. And he where did he go? Clemson?
It's his alma mater. Yeah, that's where he went to school.
And you know, the Southern teams, baseball's just a lot better there. It just is.
Right.
They can play year round. They can practice outside year round, and so I don't begrudge them that. But best baseball coach we ever had, Mel Pearson, second best probably. John Beeline, by far best basketball coach. Harbaugh, as good as just about anybody, right? And I think Harbaugh wanted, he wanted to go to the NFL, and I think at some point he was going no matter what.
Yeah.
But it seems like he really flubbed the negotiations, and the day that Harbaugh went to the Chargers, Michigan made a last-ditch effort to keep him.
Yeah, they were going to give him the immunity.
He had been asking for, exemption from them firing him from anything from this NCAA stuff.
I'll be right back.
And they wouldn't do it. Then after he called them and said, "Hey, I'm going to the Chargers," they're like, "Oh, we'll do it." Well, that's too little, too late.
Okay.
Either you're never going to do that, or why hold it back? Is kind of my point. He has just been very reactive instead of proactive. It come out in late October, early November that they were going to sign Harbaugh to an extension, and the president come out and said, "I expect this to be done within 2 weeks," right?
Yeah.
And fast forward 2.5 months later, and maybe we don't lose him. Like I said, I think he's going to the NFL eventually, anyways, because he wants the chance to win a Super Bowl. But it just seems like this guy mishandles everything, and football, especially because that's what I care about the most. You get up here after 15 years of substandard play, right? And literally, we could be next season back to where we were with Rich Rod and Brady Hoke years. And I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a very real possibility.
Right, 100%.
So he asked for immunity because he didn't want to turn down the NFL, and he wanted security from them that they were going to stand by his side if the NCAA come after him. You know, who knows what he knew and what he did. I find it really hard to believe that he didn't have an idea that was something going on in it. But also in a program that big, it's impossible to know what everybody's doing. So, did he have an idea that he was probably up to something? Sure, but anybody that is unbiased that I have talked to believes that this was 28 and a 25, and much more was made out of it than really needed to be. You know, social media. This is one of the bad sides of social media. Is, you know, Pete Thamel and a couple of other guys come out with these clickbait stories, and it kind of grew a life of its own. You know, every college program does something like this to some degree, right? Now, maybe this was a unique thing, you know, that Michigan tried. Maybe it wasn't, but what's really damning to me is Ohio State is one of the schools, but there were several schools. Rutgers was another one that knew that this has been going on for a couple of years. Well, why bring it out? You know, when Michigan is having its best season in a lot of years. If it was really a big major issue, why did you wait 2 years to kind of let it out of the bag?
Yeah, those stories are pretty wild. I mean, obviously Connor Stallions did something against rules somewhere, and the Harbaugh asking for immunity thing. I don't know so much that he knows something's going on in the investigation, as to more so it's even if, because he's the head football coach, he's in charge of everything. So even if he didn't know, the NCAA rule is you do something wrong, the head coach is ultimately responsible for it.
Right.
So even if Harbaugh didn't know, he's still going to get fired or suspended or whatever the NCAA, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think the NCAA is going to roll over and be like, well, he served this many games suspension last year. It's time served. I don't think that's how the NCAA is going to play that game.
No, I think if he was here, I feel like they were looking for reasons to drop the hammer, right? And that's part of I mean, the NCAA moves slow anyways, but that's part of the reason why this has been so drug out. But I do think now that he's gone, that it might help Michigan a little bit. I think they may look at that as, okay, we suspended him for 3 games. Big Ten suspended him for 3 games, and let's hit him with a fine or maybe a couple scholarship losses or whatever. But all these assholes and idiots that are talking about vacating titles and stuff, I would literally bet my life that that's never going to happen.
I think college football is just changing, like we've talked about. It's changing as a whole, and they need to get hip with the times anyway.
Yeah.
Like that rule is made so smaller schools, because they couldn't afford it, right?
Right.
Now, every school can. Why not you can spend this much money throughout the season for everybody.
Sure.
You pick and choose what games are the most important to you to go scout for.
Right.
I don't know. The NCAA
and if the sign stealing such a big problem, right? Give the quarterbacks the NFL helmets.
But the coaches keep voting no on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it was Saban on the Pat McAfee show. He was talking about it, and that these coaches keep voting no on it, and it's like the NCAA should have been that way forever.
Right. That should have happened a decade ago.
Yeah, when the NFL did it, why are you not
right.
a year or
The
two behind?
technology's there. Well, I've read different things, but it's like $20,000 to $50,000 to outfit a team with those helmets. Especially for the big programs, that's pocket change, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, for $5-6 million, the NCAA could foot the bill and outfit every school in the country, every Division I school, anyways, and there you go. So that just shows me that they're not taking it as seriously as they should, because if they were really worried about that and it was really that big of a deal, this would have been done a long time ago, because it's a relatively easy solution,
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's
Wasn't
get microphones in the helmets, point blank period, or get headset in the helmet.
Yeah, wasn't there like one or two bowl games this year though, like where players did actually have the helmets on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like just as like a test. I think there was, and they were all small bowl games, but
Right. And I never heard anything good or bad about it, but
yeah, I didn't really hear anything after the games.
Yeah.
I think all in all, I think that's gonna have to come into play. It's gonna have to happen. I think it's the best part for college football, as we've said and talked about. I think it's just like Aaron said, getting with the times, use technology.
Yeah, we
use technology all the time, right? And that's the thing, is every major college has somebody on their staff that is dedicated to sign stealing, right? Michigan, whether that was come from the top or Stallions went rogue, he just kind of come up with a new way to do it. And man, I lost my thought here. I just don't think, if it wasn't a big issue until this come out, what's the big deal? Because like I said, they could have helmets in every team's locker in 2 weeks if they wanted to.
Yeah, agreed.
Nah, it's easy day, and I think it's something that we're all gonna see.
Right. And one other thing, I think you got to give it to the defense too. That way you're not stealing defensive signals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's got to be a designated position like quarterback on offense. Maybe your captain or your leader or whoever you feels.
I mean,
the safety or a mic or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever the leader of the defense is, slap it on there, and yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, we're being told we got to move back to the Super Bowl.
I mean, listen. We can continue this conversation, but I mean, when the title is Super Bowl 58 preview,
and we haven't talked about the Super Bowl.
We're 52 minutes into the show.
We talked a solid 2 minutes about the Chiefs.
And it wasn't even like good conversation. It was the Chiefs are gonna do this, and then we would do something like Michigan, Ohio State wise, and then we go back to it. I knew we should have just started with the banner.
That's all right.
Nah, it's fine. Super Bowl 58. Let's do this again. Let's try it again. Probably isn't gonna work.
Niners by 5.
Niners by 5. So Niners, Chiefs.
What Landon said. I just don't want the Chiefs to win. Anybody but the Chiefs.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, let's see. San Francisco's favored
when you were here watching the game, I heard the fucking Taylor Swift songs coming out of your earpods. I know you're a Swiftie.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't mind Taylor Swift as much as everybody else, but I'm just if the Bengals and the Chiefs didn't have a rivalry, I wouldn't care so much about the Chiefs winning as much as they do.
It's such a weird rivalry, though.
Yeah, well,
me and you talked about governor or mayors making bets and shit like that. That's just funny to me.
Our mayor said what he said, yeah, and then we ended up losing. Thanks, mayor. But
so for the Super Bowl, I mean, tickets right now, if you'd like to go, are about $6,000 on Vivid Seats. That's the cheapest. Niners schedule,
That's an issue too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real fans.
So the average guy has been priced out of the biggest sporting event in the world, right?
Yeah.
When you're getting $2.5 million for a suite with 15 people in it, and throwing 5 lobster at them and say, yeah, hey, we're going to take care of you. But also, did you see Christian McCaffrey's mom come out and is like, we can't afford that, and people kind of lost their mind. But listen, if you got $10 in your pocket, right, you're going to notice spending $2.50. And the same thing, if you got 10 million in your bank, 2.5 million is going to fucking hurt.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I believe could they use the money? Sure, but it's not a smart financial decision.
Exactly.
And I think that goes on to prove that what we were just talking about is when you have multimillionaires complaining about the price, that's an issue, you know.
Exactly.
I get that it's Vegas, but what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. It should be for the fans who care.
And that's the thing. I know me and my dad talked about even when the national championship tickets, when I was looking for tickets, I said those aren't this high, but I mean you're still spending almost $2,000 after fees on tickets just to go to a college game.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it's the biggest thing, but I said the middle class is being
priced out of everything.
Priced out of everything. And I mean, I get that. I'm not saying that as, I mean, I'm not trying to get political when I say that at all. But I mean, you admitted to the Christian McCaffrey thing. There's a video of back when, I don't know if it was last year, if it was from this year's game, with Jason Kelsey and his family sitting on their couch talking like, hey, how are we going to figure out how this, they were talking about leaving their daughter.
Right. Not buying the baby a ticket. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm like, because tickets are $5,000.
This is a guy that makes millions of dollars a year, not somebody that's making 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, I mean, even if you make $100,000 a year, which isn't really a whole lot of money anymore, that's 10% of your yearly income before tax to get a flight out there and get a ticket, man. That's just insane to me.
Yeah, let alone like you just said, how much is a plane ticket to Las Vegas right now?
Exactly. Well, no,
I just think like the NFL should have a lottery for whatever it is, maybe half the tickets, 25% to each fan base that goes to the fans that have been going for decades and years, supported their team for years.
Season ticket holders get an automatic Super Bowl ticket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, you're giving money every single year, especially the ones that have been season ticket holders for 45 years or however long, where it's been passed down generation to generation.
Yeah, they spend $2,000 a year on just going to 8 home games. You know?
Yeah.
It's so weird. I just don't understand it. I mean, money.
It's a big old party for people, and there just so happen to be a football game that's played.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like next year Super Bowl's in New Orleans. I'm not even I'm gonna go down to fucking New Orleans and hang out, but I'm not gonna be able to go to the game. I'll win the lottery from now until
the Super Bowl next year. We're staying at your house.
Sounds good, dude. We can go have another nice night in New Orleans, like a lot of times. Yeah, let's talk. You want to talk about that, buddy?
No, New Orleans is a good time. Hey, New Orleans is a good time. New Orleans is a good time.
It is. It's an off-topic conversation.
Yeah, it's a muted conversation.
Oh, that was a night. Anyways. All right.
Who's winning the Super Bowl?
That's what I was about to go with. So 49ers Chiefs. Line is 1.5 to the Niners right now. Mr. Irrelevant. Or does the Chiefs keep up their domination of the past 3, 4, 5 seasons?
I personally think the Chiefs win. I think they win by a touchdown to maybe 10 points. Because of what we talked earlier in the opening show, their defense is legit, right? And their offense has probably taken a step back, but I think it's still elite. But with that being said, because of how explosive San Francisco is, and I think that Kyle Shanahan is one of the few legit genius offensive minds in football. He's going to have a good game plan, right? I wouldn't be shocked if San Francisco won it all, but this is the majority of their players' first time on that big a stage, right? And Kansas City has been there. They've been through the fire, and we've talked about this, not necessarily about the Super Bowl, but other things. It takes Michigan 3 years ago, CFP. They were starstruck and happy to be there, right? And then 2 years ago, TCU. I feel like they took TCU for granted, but Mahomes and Kelsey and all those guys, they've been through the media circus. They've done all this. They're not going to be distracted where I think that San Francisco can be, and they usually are. So that's why I picked Kansas City. But again, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier for the Chiefs to fall asleep tonight than it is going to be the Niners falling asleep tonight.
Absolutely.
And
especially because the Niners have been there and lost to the Chiefs, in 2019? 2019. We were deployed at the time.
It was 2019, I think, yeah. It was 2020, technically, right before COVID. COVID started that March. The Super Bowl was February of that year.
Yeah.
And they lost. But I think so. The Niners have only scored 3 points in the first half in all of their 2 playoff games.
So who you got, Hunter?
I'm rolling with the Niners. I think last year the Niners probably would have won it all if they don't lose all their quarterbacks.
Yeah, the shitty first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would have won it all this last year, and I think this is kind of like a revenge year for them, where they don't want to take any names. I mean, I think Christian McCaffrey deserves a Super Bowl probably more than anybody in this game.
Yeah.
The dude stuck it out with Carolina for how long before finally actually getting a shot on a good team.
30 carries a game, getting beat up every single game, getting hurt.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Right. Is just him. I think the story of Brock Purdy. I think we might have another TB12 on our hands. It's a joke. Don't take that serious. No, he's all in all, dude's been really good. All in all, I got the Niners by 10.
Niners by 10.
I can give an exact score. Probably the exact score that I would guess would be like a 38-28 game.
Wow, you think high scoring?
I do. I actually do. I think the Niners. The Niners offense is probably, can overpower the Chiefs, and I think the Niners other way around also. It is what it is. 38-28 Niners.
And I don't like Mahomes. I think that he's gotten way too much credit way too early in his career. Yeah, he's great, right? But they can score points in a hurry too, but I really do think that it's going to be more like a 24-17, 24-20 game.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm leaning towards, is low scoring. I definitely think under. Chiefs is the Chiefs. Chiefs is the Chiefs. They've been there. They've done that.
Yeah.
Under 47.5.
Yeah.
47.5 total.
Yeah, I think it'll be under that.
So they're thinking right like Aaron and I are then,
Yeah. I just really think both teams' offenses. I think the Chiefs' offenses can be explosive, but it's not the same Chiefs as it was with Tyreek Hill and stuff.
Your record of picking winners has proven.
Hold up, I did. No.
Chiefs are awesome. You might as well give them the Lombardi right now.
Right.
Well, I picked every Michigan game, and I called from the first fucking episode of this show this season that Michigan was going 15-0 and win a national championship.
It's easy to say your team's going to go 15-0.
Right. You've been saying that for 15 years. You just happen to be right once.
No, I didn't say it. Actually, I did say it last year, but we should have went undefeated and won Natty last year. But
no, Georgia would have beat us last year. They were clearly better.
I think they would have too, but I can just talk because it doesn't matter.
We should have beat TCU, but Georgia was clearly better last year.
I think if you guys would have beat TCU, we would have beat Georgia.
Yeah,
Truthfully,
and that would have been a matchup for the ages,
I don't. Me and Aaron. All I remember is me. Like, I mean, me and you had the same conversation, Dad. But me and Aaron had the same conversation. Like, I don't think we can handle this if that ever would have happened.
The stress would be phenomenal.
Oh, dude, even like if we lose that game, winning the game in 2022 and 21 probably would have been fucking worthless to us.
Right.
Yeah, that would take everything out of the losers fan base. Oh my god.
Oh man.
So, everyone say their predictions, right? I have one more fun little thing that's over under Taylor Swift appearances on camera. Line set at 5.5.
If she makes it, right, because she's flying from Tokyo, it's way over. Way over. But
I'm gonna go with the over too.
Yeah. If I remember right, I read something a week or two ago. There's like a 30-minute margin of error from her concert ending to her getting immediately on the plane.
Yeah, but the whole didn't like the airline, like didn't they buy out like a plane just for her from an airline over there just so she could be there? Like she could leave
got
the
her own
concert.
private jet. What are you talking about?
No, it was something where she had to buy out like a plane or something. I could have swore that I read something like that.
Maybe, but turbulence can slow that down. Flying into a headwind can slow that down a half hour. I'm sure they're going to have a police escort waiting for her at the airport. They'll probably helicopter to the stadium.
Yeah.
But that I forget what it is, but isn't it like a 16-20 hour flight or something from Japan?
Well, probably to Las Vegas I know. So Aaron, you went to Guam.
Yeah.
How long was it from Mississippi to Guam? What, 20 hours or some shit like that?
About 16, 18.
Yeah. So, I mean, you probably take a few hours off because Guam is over there kind of by Japan. So, I mean, you probably take a few hours off because you're going to Las Vegas.
So it was 6 to...
Oh, they're saying 12 hours and 25 minutes.
No, well,
how far?
And that's
from Tokyo to Las Vegas, 12 hours, 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably about right then. Damn.
So, that's not horrible.
But if there's really a half hour, right? If there's really a half hour's wiggle room there's a lot that can go wrong to offset you a half hour,
Yeah.
So, but I do think it's way over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I figured that.
If she's there, especially like if she's running late and gets there, they're going to show her arriving at the stadium. They're going to show her on her way to the suite. They're going to show the crowd's reaction. They're going to be over 5 by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they're literally going to have a camera waiting on the suite for her to walk into and everything.
No, they're going to have a camera probably, like he said, they're probably going to have a camera at the airport.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One when she like I said,
as soon as she gets off whatever they helicopter to the stadium or whatever, as soon as she gets off that walking into the stadium, it's gonna be like when they show the players walking in their suits. And I don't want to hate on Taylor Swift because there is a lot like it's not something I'm gonna hate. Everyone bitches and complains that she's ruining football. She's not ruining fucking football, guys. Stop.
She's on the TV screen for like.
She has brought a whole new audience to
exactly
professional football.
Yeah, exactly. Using it as a marketing tool, and good for them. If I had a multi-billion-dollar business and I had a chance to make even more million. Why would you not take that business opportunity?
Yeah,
everybody.
The reality is she hasn't asked for any of this, right? She's been a really good sport.
Yeah, she's just trying to watch her boyfriend play football.
Right.
Which is
get some dick when the game's over. That's all it's about.
Exactly. What they do is what they do.
And anybody saying otherwise, I mean, this is the way I read it. I read this. This is not me thinking of this, but I said, imagine you talking like that about your daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you're a parent, it really is like that. That really brought. Someone wrote that on Facebook or Twitter, and it really brought into this perspective. And I was like, oh yeah, I would be pissed off if that was my daughter. And everyone's saying, oh, she's ruining this, ruining that.
Right.
And but what are you showing your daughter as you talk bad about Taylor Swift? If your daughter's sitting there and she's hearing you say all this bad stuff, like, oh, she's ruining football, get that bitch off the screen,
Yeah.
Right.
stuff like that. I mean, it is what it is, and I just it is. Let it happen.
It's today's media's fault, in my opinion. They do that with everything, and it's just magnified that much more because it's one of the biggest and most powerful celebrities in the world. Happens
Exactly.
to be at the center of attention of it. If they showed Aaron every 5 minutes on the NFL, people would be hating on that too. But it's just magnified because she is who she is,
Exactly.
and he is who he is. So I was listening to the New Heights podcast, and people were, I think it was part of a Super Bowl interview, but people were asking Travis, what's been surprising about, dating her and the public attention. And he's like, listen, there's Kansas City famous, then there's Taylor Swift famous, and
Yeah.
it's just got to be absolutely insane. And to think about what she has to do, just to live, 10 security people every time she even just goes to take a piss, it's just nuts what she has to do to live as normal as a life as she can.
Well, yeah, her being at those
walk
games,
into a bar and sit down
Right.
and have a beer with her food.
that's
Right.
her being at the games and in the suites is probably with oh, I fucking hate the Mahomes family, but Jesus, it's the most probably regular life she probably has lived in 20 years, where she can just relax. She can be there, relax, watch football,
Right.
drink a beer, drink whatever she wants. She doesn't have someone telling her where she needs to be, where she needs to go. Good for her. Is what. That's all.
I don't
That's
think
all
she
for me.
appears at all, Landon. But it wouldn't shock me, I guess, if she did. But I think
Her Usher
that's
getting after it.
Her and Usher, I don't know. That might be.
and maybe right, but I think, kind of going back to what you were just talking about, I think she really enjoys and appreciates being able to be as normal as she is. I think to her, she's just a girl watching her boyfriend play football.
Yeah.
That happens to be famous. And if she jumps in the Super Bowl, that's going to be a calculated decision to, hey, let's bring a little more attention on me.
Yeah.
And I really don't know a lot about her, but she doesn't strike me as that person.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be cool though. It'd be sweet. It'd be a story.
Yeah, Kanye might come in. Kanye might come in and ruin it though.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve this.
But yeah, guys, I mean, it good for her.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have, at least on the Super Bowl.
When's your chip gonna be here?
Let me look. Hang on.
19th through the 20th.
I think it's 19th to the 21st.
All right.
Like somewhere between there.
So Wednesday, February 21st. Tune in, guys.
I'm not doing a weekday show. Hell no, I'm not doing that on a weekday.
Why not? It'll be over in 20 minutes.
It don't matter. I'm gonna be fucked up at work for the next 3 days of fucking fire breathing coming out of my ass.
So carry a 5-gallon bucket around with you. It ain't no big deal.
That right there, that is what I'm worried about. I don't give a shit. This will be over in like an hour.
Right.
It's the fucking after effects of that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, you're gonna shit fire for 3 days.
Yeah, you're gonna be in pain. Poor Brittany.
Oh, I ain't doing it unless she's here because I need medical attention.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, I think it'll be here. It says the 19th to the 21st. Somewhere right there. I don't know. But, all right. Well, guys, I think we'll wrap the show up. We have had a good show. Aaron, you're welcome back anytime, buddy. Oh, shoot. Hang on.
It was a lot of fun. Football.
I just got a notification on my phone. There's some breaking news. Breaking news that Marvin Harrison Jr. is still laying on the ground after this play in disappointment.
Yeah, me too, Marv. Me too, buddy. I remember that. Like, as drunk as I was, I remember the play.
Dude,
Like,
that was a bad night.
dude,
Me and Aaron were both asleep by like game got over 30 minutes later. Me and Aaron are both throwing up and passing out. Oh, but
sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I've been holding it in.
I was surprised it took you an hour and 15 minutes to wait and say that.
Dude, let me get through it first so we can still be friends, you know?
But all right, guys. Well, like I said, Aaron, thank you again. We'll see you whenever you want.
Yes,
like
sir.
I said, we'll definitely bring you back this college football season because it'd be good to banter a little bit during the season. We didn't get to do the show this year for the game. But guys, like I said, go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, everything else. Hey, you know you can see that message, right?
I don't care.
Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us there. And as always, guys, go blue.
Hey,
and, have a great weekend.
yes, sir.
Go.
Yes, I got it. Fuck, damn it. I unmuted it too soon. I thought you said it already. I didn't think you were going to say it again, so I unmuted him. All right. Hey, all right, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right, buddy.